Hello everybody and welcome to the next one of these Investigator Design videos for our second expansion. There's a link down in the video description to our Lumberjack, which we made in the last one. I'm going to just show the Lumberjack quickly here. We're not going to look at all the cards. You can just see his wonderful, wonderful little card here. So we did this in the last one, link to that one. We're designing these all together here in the moment, so there's going to be a lot of thinking space, as there has been in these previous ones, as we try to figure out the best sort of vibe for all this stuff here. Our instructor, I see people saying I mean, there's a kappa there, but we actually, fortunately for us, we actually have decided what these guys' traits are already going to be. Because we are apparently, I think the biggest trait that Beard and I both share is that we're very meticulous planners.
I mean, we do over-prepare sometimes, but it has benefits.
Yeah, it pays dividends, right? Now we know this guy is going to be our agency detective guy, so it works really well for that. Beard, I'll let you explain this modus stuff that we have here. We're gonna have to explain this in each of these videos, so we're gonna hit the same notes again, but I think it's helpful to kind of give some context for this this whole thing.
Sure. And actually, before I explain, this one I think was going to be changed to +1.
Good call.
So the modus cards are a theme we're running with for this whole player set. Every class has a single kind of bonded card that a number of other cards will reference. So rather than being like, for example, the Dream Diary getting the essence of the dream, it'll be like multiple different assets that would get that into your hand, that kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And each of these modus cards attaches to different other cards. That was the other way we decided to have a focus on the mechanical aspect of this set. Mm-hmm. So the Guardian one is prepared, and it attaches to an Investigator card specifically. And because it's so versatile, that's why it only gets a +1, whereas some of the other ones get a +2.
Yes, yeah. We made that change with we had the Survivor one here. Because because you designed them all just with a blanket +2 because it was a good place to start, but those was like a proof of concept, and now that things are starting to take more shape, we can kind of figure out where these numbers should be.
Yep. Because the Guardian one attaches to an Investigator, it's the easiest one, because if there's always going to be Investigators. If there's no Investigators, you've lost the scenario.
Yes. Or you're doing a really weird custom campaign that we have not even put into place yet.
The other ones, like the Seeker one, will be +2, but it shuffles into your deck, so you have to go get it.
Yeah.
The Rogue one will attach to an enemy or treachery, but only usable against the enemy or treachery. The Mystic one will be attached to an asset, only usable on that asset. And the Survivor one will attach to a location. Yeah.
So you can kind of see how this is going to kind of dictate the space that we have for these Investigators. While this guy... like, for example, our Survivor cared about cards attaching to card. It's unlikely that our that this Instructor character is going to do the same thing, but instead, rather, it's probably going to be some sort of support style play. Is going to kind of be like the area that we go. Like, he wants to be with other Investigators and make other Investigators better, which I think is kind of like the vibe we're going to see for this guy here.
So actually, I did have a little idea on this.
Okay.
Because the Guardian card attached to Investigator and increases skill value for a test, he should have something that triggers off of when you increase the skill value of an Investigator's test. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, and if we wanted to make him full support, we could have it be just another Investigator's test.
Yeah.
But that would include committing, and we can make him kind of skill focused, but also benefiting from the...
I'll be real. I actually also had some thoughts, and I had two thoughts. One of them... So actually, this is very similar. One of them was that a support guy who uses his stats to boost other stats of other people or himself. But I think your line is actually very a thing. Like, that should be the focus. or alternatively, a skill-based investigator. So skill is probably the way to go. I think that we kind of have some similar thoughts there. My other thought for this guy was I didn't want to make him like a Carson. You know, like I wanted him to be dependable on his own. But like he is better with other investigators. Like he's able to trigger his. It's like kind of like Min. I think like Min is the inspiration for this one.
The Minspiration, if you will.
The Minspiration. Let's go. Additionally, this guy has Rogue and Mystic for his off class,
which is going to be interesting to make him support focused without like Seeker Survivor, because that's
yeah.
what a lot of people tend to default to.
Sorry, I just have this guy up because I can just copy the back. Makes it a lot easier to get our thing in, because this stuff is set in stone. This is not changing. Deck creation, choose Rogue or Mystic. Okay. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the Rogue and Mystic skills at level 0. Because while there's other ways to boost the stats, it does kind of feel to be like skills is like the most consistent way of doing it.
Yeah. Which is kind of why I wanted to word it in such a way that skills are like the obvious benefit, but you can also benefit from the new modus thing.
Yes, yeah. Yeah, so like your wording is just simply just like after you increase the skill value of an investigator a test.
Yeah, it'd be during a skill test. This program is Strange Eons. You can find it online, and it includes all the templates for the Arkham Horror cards.
Here's a question. Here, let me get this actual, sorry. I bounce between screens. I'm going to forget about it, so ping me if I left it up too long. So after, is this kind of the wording? Like, after you increase the skill value of an investigator during a skill test?
Yeah.
What if prepared... what if it didn't attach to only, like... What if it attached to always the same investigator... but, like, they could boost other people doing a test at their location?
You mean it would, like, only attach to the person using it?
Yeah, but they could boost an investigator taking a skill test at their location. Does that change it a lot? Because I feel like... so how would that work? When it's worded as is, how does that work with our instructor right now?
Yeah, I guess because that is... technically them activating the ability.
Yeah. So, like, what if it was, like, during a skill test performed at your location? During a skill test at your location? The performing investigator...
and then you may activate this ability from any location.
But would it be like... Yeah, so then we drop that at your location then?
Yeah, just during a skill test, discard prepared.
You may activate this ability at any location. Okay.
Yeah, it is like an extra commit, which is good because it still works with committing cards.
Yeah. Oh, I think something that I realized as well is what happens. So, is there like a thing for bonded cards where they automatically go back, or do we need to put that these become rebonded after they leave play?
I think that it's like in the bonded rules because there's a lot of the bonded cards that don't say that.
Okay, we'll check that out. Yeah, we can go through and just confirm, but I think you're probably right. Because I think also what is because Hallowed Mirror, Soothing Melodies stay in your deck. Sorry, not Dream Enhancing Serum. Dream Diary would probably be the one that we'd have to, I think, would answer that one
See,
for us. Yeah.
Presence of the Dream does say to set it aside with your bonded cards.
Okay. Because our intention is that these go back, right? They're like one-use effects that you can then like rebond. Okay. Here's also a question too. Maybe we're getting a little bit aside, a little bit ahead of ourselves here. But what number do you view for these? How many of these are set aside as part of the bonded cards?
I'd say there's a max of 4, kind of the way that...
That's the exact number I was thinking too, so I think we're on the same page there.
Yeah. The Vincent's bonded cards were what I was thinking of.
Cool. Perfect. All right. All right. I think this is a great trigger for this guy, though. I think you cooked on this one. I think that this is like we just now got to figure out what the benefit is.
Yeah, it can't be pure card draw because that would just be like you commit something, you draw a card. That's too easy.
What if it changed depending on if the investigator passed or failed?
That'd be interesting. Sorry, 1 second.
Mm-hmm. I feel like this guy is going to be a Leo, very close to Leo in his stat line.
Honestly, I could see him being a 4-book guardian.
Yeah.
I think if there's anything like super cool you could do with it.
He has a very interesting card pool. He has a very, conflicting card pool as well. Where if we make his foot low, the rogue's going to suffer. If we make his brain low, the mystic's going to suffer.
Yeah.
But I feel like I want to have this guy be, like, I agree, like, somewhat combat and somewhat intellect focused. It makes sense for this guy. But I mean, if he's using the skills, let's go back to this for a second.
Well, I did have one thought.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be like necessarily a skill benefit, but like he could, like if he, after an investigator succeeds at a skill test, if you increase their skill value during that test, then they get to ready an asset they control, something like that.
Okay.
And you can, of course, use it on yourself that way to ready assets. It's kind of like an inbuilt galvanize.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Oh, but it's not for him. It's for uses of prepared. So I'll hang on to that for now.
I have this. I think that's an interesting sort of thing, though. What you're saying here.
Because there's not a lot of things that ready, or not a lot of investigators that ready assets. It's pretty much just Ashcan Pete.
Okay.
But at the same time, if you want him to be skill focused, then maybe it's like.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to be skill focused. Skill is just the easiest way to trigger it, right?
Yeah. Or you could do stuff like you trigger it through bestow resolve, that kind of thing.
Yeah. So what I was thinking, this isn't the way to do this, right? I'm just gonna say, if this test is successful, that investigator readies an asset or returns an asset to their hand. So the reason why I'm thinking this is because it works with both the mystic side and the rogue side in different ways of his kit, you know?
Yeah.
So this guy could play the Doom stuff that we have in the last set.
Yeah, readying cards is strong, but if his ability is once per round, then that would be in line with it.
Another one that could also be kind of fun with this is like, after this test resolves, that investigator may take that test again. It's on like the instructor side of it. You know, it's like you did it once, now do it again, right? That could be something that could be explored as well. Eagle Eye, how's it going?
I kind of like that more.
Yeah?
So, like, after this test resolves, the investigator may take an action of the same type again, so...
Yeah. May take...
Like, even if it's, like, you attacked with your like, gun number 1, you can attack with gun number 2 and still benefit.
After... So how do we word that to make it kind of hit those...
So it'd be... Let me just type it out.
Yeah, sure. Because that fits the instructor theme. It's like, here's how you do it. Now do it on your own. And it kind of still feels like a Carson type thing.
Yeah, it's a more focused Carson thing, which is good because his is take any action, whereas this guy will be more self-sufficient, but his benefit will be narrower.
There's a question for the rules people. Like, if he shot with a gun, would that count as increasing his skill value? Or is that, like, determined at the start of the skill value, of the test?
No, that would count, I think.
Okay, so we probably want to limit to not just have that, like, firing with a gun triggers it.
Yeah, let me think here.
Here, I'm going to start just transferring over his back.
Something like this.
All right. Set a test. If you committed cards or triggered abilities during that test, that investigator takes an immediate action of the same type. Yeah. Oh, the triggered abilities. I mean, I think we still want to, if we can make this work so it has like the increase the skill value. If you committed cards or triggered abilities,
yeah. That increased skill value.
After an investigator succeeded a test, if you committed cards or triggered abilities that increase skill value during that test, the investigator takes an immediate action of the same type. Test. Test that investigator takes an immediate action of the same type. Hello, physical training. I'll throw a buck at an action. Hell yeah.
Hey, I'm for it. Physical training needs more homes.
Yeah, because it's kind of it's interesting. Like if we look at physical training and compare it to skids, right? With skids, you're paying one more, but it can be any action. For physical training, it's specific actions. So it's like a little bit more restrictive compared to Skids O'Toole. Yeah.
Are any of those multi-class level 3 ones from Edge of the Earth, like Bruiser, Prophetic?
Ooh, yeah.
Ultra?
Yeah, that's very interesting.
Yeah, I think this is good territory to explore.
Yeah. Triggered abilities that increase skill value during that test.
It's also good that you said that now, because it could also be like I triggered Pathfinder during your turn. See ya, have fun with another.
Yes, yeah.
He's on all threes right now. We just haven't decided on a stat line yet.
Yeah, I feel like this guy's a build. We could Carson this guy. Where I think his soak could be 6 and 6.
6 and 6, like yeah, I guess a bit limited to make up for having a good stat line.
Yeah, a good stat line and a very good ability, right? Because that it's basically like Carson. Like Carson gets like an action around. This guy also gets like an action around. But this one is like you can trigger it without spending. Like I mean, Carson doesn't either. But I think they're very similar. So I think if he has a better stat line, he should have a similar amount of soak.
That does make sense.
Yeah. What should his Elder Sign be? This is my favorite, coming up with the Elder Sign.
Maybe this one could this one could be like the readying assets that increase. Well, that doesn't deal with committing cards either, so maybe just...
I mean, I have a strange idea. Let me see this. What you think of this? Gets
That's not bad, but it does kind of go into a vet territory.
It does kind of, yeah, it does kind of go into vet territory. It's true.
So what about something like, this would be kind of silly, like -2.
Okay,
But,
I love the start.
But the next test this round gets a big bonus.
Interesting. That's interesting. What if you get a commit or trigger abilities increase skill value after reveal the other sign? Not a free success, but lets you feel like a winner if you have the right cards available. Thought you'd fail something. That's an interesting idea as well. Kind of like a Silas from hand. That's an interesting, this thing, this -2. The next estivator gets +4. And I think that's a fair point too, Dice Gods. Not sure he needs a penalty for the ability.
True. Like, especially if you look at, like, Monterey Jack.
Yeah.
Because it's like very tangibly like one action equals one bonus, that kind of thing.
Yeah. All right, I think this needs a little... That investigator's skill value during that test. Because otherwise, you could, like, he can use physical training during someone else's test. Because I'm pretty sure physical training is just like you get +1, right?
Yeah.
So now you actually have to, like, make someone else better. No, that one is for this skill test. Okay, that one is specifically for this skill test. Are there any that you can just do? No, it's just a skill test. So maybe I'm covering something that doesn't exist there.
It is easy to be gun shy with the Arkham rules, I will say.
Yes. Yeah, maybe I am just, I don't think we need that. I mean, maybe we'll find out in testing. We can easily just put that back on. Always increase skill value during that test. The same type. What do you think of this Elder Sign? It feels bad to draw during a test, but it makes the next one better. Do we want that vibe to happen? I think it tells a very interesting story.
At the same time, in most Arkham scenarios, -2 is a good token to pull.
That is true. Yep.
They could also ostensibly just be 0, and then the next investigator gets a +2 instead of a +4. Kind of bound it a bit more. Yeah, I think that might be nicer.
Because it also triggers his ability.
It does.
Yeah. Okay. All right, what should this guy's stat line be? And maybe Dice Gods is right. Like, maybe we don't need to give him a changed in health and sanity. I don't know why it feels right to me, but that's just like a vibe check. So I could easily be talked out of that. Oh, we figured if this was +0.
I'd say whether or not we cut his health depends on his stat line.
Cool. Yeah, it's still +0. All right, what do you feel like for his stat line?
It's pretty optimized, but 3-4-4-1 is a possibility.
Three, four, four, one. Honestly, this is something that I was thinking as well.
I don't believe there's anybody with that stat line. We've got Joe Diamond with the 2-4-4-2.
Yeah.
And multiple people with some combination of 3-4 for the book and fist.
Yeah.
And I'd say that's powerful enough that could merit the 6-6.
Yeah.
Make him a little more fragile, but he's still got good stats.
And now I think what's so important is the 3-4-4-1 gives this guy a reason to trigger both book and fight for himself, like both investigate and fight actions.
Yeah.
Does this kill it if we go like this? Yeah, that looks worse. The only thing to consider with this is that Joe Diamond does, like, what if we go like 6-7? Also for all the kids playing Arkham these days.
I mean, I guess it's not unheard of, because like all of the
or rather, probably this.
deck investigators had a total of 15 rather than 14.
Yeah, like what if it's 7-6, right? So your point, but he's an instructor. What he's an instructor of if he can do everything? Well, he's an instructor for the agency and the detective, which probably teaches both investigating and combat. So the backstory for this guy is he used to be working for the agency, but then he had a run-in with the cult of, were we gonna go to Stagua or Quachi Utlas? I think those were the two that we had. And it left him scarred because of that. So then he lost his, he didn't do his field position anymore, and he went to a teaching position at the agency. That's this guy's flavor. I mean, like, feasibly, you could also go, like, 3-3-4-2. It'd be very similar. But I do like the 3-4-4-1. I mean, Joe Diamond's a fun stat line.
It is. And honestly, since you said he was like a Leo-type investigator, him having 1 foot still seems fine to me.
The alternative is that we make him... so, like, basically what we're deciding right now is what part of him are we going to break, like, in his backstory? Is he breaking a leg or is he breaking his mind? Because I think one of them should be 1 and the other one could be 3. And there could be a case for his brain being really low.
I think if he's going to be an instructor, then he needs his mind intact.
Okay, sounds good. So then we'll leave him as a 7-6, I think. I like having like just a little bit more padding on the physical, just to make up for his 1 foot.
Yeah.
Okay. What should we name this guy?
I was actually looking at names here. I've got. Let me send you something.
Nice. Oh, Roland Banks. Yeah, something Banks. Roland Banks' dad. I think he needs like a good like all-American name.
I'm still looking for surnames, but I thought the name Roscoe was good.
Oh, I like Roscoe. Like that, right? That's Roscoe.
Yeah. Let's see here. What about Pierce?
Pierce. I think another one I'm looking at is I was looking at the cast like for the Mindhunter show, looking at like FBI, the agents who did that.
Mm-hmm.
Tench, Ford. I like Pierce too. Pierce to me is a very first name though, in my
All right.
mind.
Let's see. Castle.
Castle, Roscoe Castle. I don't know if that one flows.
It's a little off.
I think you're right though with Pierce though, like a single syllable.
Yeah, I'm looking for shorter ones here. Give me a second.
Prepared's interesting. Just allows you to like spend actions to get future actions with this guy. So with all of our, well, Beard's looking for a surname. With all of these modus cards, the idea is that the investigator synergizes with them, but they're not like required to play them. It's just something that they're able to take advantage of. So I think we accomplished that here with Roscoe.
Yeah. And they're not like he's not specifically somebody that attaches like Laurent is.
It's I like the idea, Metro Man, but it is a little bit on the nose. The Roscoe Teach, yeah.
Let's see.
But I do like the idea.
Keys?
Keys?
It's like Keyes.
Like that? Two E's in the first one?
Like, no, just like that.
Cool. Roscoe Keys.
Another one I was looking at is Booth.
Ooh, Roscoe Booth. Roscoe Booth.
This is all vibes based.
I like this, but what can we go like RB Roscoe RB Booth? I like Booth because I just was like, oh yeah, RB, and I'm like, that's what people are gonna call him, like at the agency.
RB, yeah.
Yeah.
I dig it.
Do we want to add an E to Booth to maybe be a little bit naughty? Oh, Roscoe Arby's Booth. Yeah, sponsored by Arby's.
Let's go. We're making money off of this already.
Yeah. All right. I kind of like this guy. Now we got to do his signatures. I
think giving him a signature skill seems like the right move to make.
Yep. I had a slight idea too. Let me I don't know. This probably isn't good enough, but let's find out. Let's just put this on paper and see if there's anything here. This would be So this is kind of like what I had on it. So it's like, the idea is that he's giving the extra action, so what if like this skill is like committed twice, right?
Like it goes to the next action too?
Yes, yeah.
Seems pretty good, but
I feel like it needs
as far as the signature goes, this seems kind of underwhelming.
Yeah, it needs like a little bit of like a something else to it, right?
It could be card draw. That's always an easy one to do for skill slinging.
Yep.
Honestly, he's already given plenty of numbers. What he needs is like kicker tempo, like.
Yep.
Like extra actions are fine, especially if you're doubling up, but like. Maybe it like gives versatility on your next action at the same time as well.
Uh-huh.
So like with this skill, you could have a bonus action to do anything, but without that skill, it's simply a bonus in the same line.
Uh-huh. What if there was a way we could also even represent this guy's like teaching style of thing, right? Like where he's the teacher. Like chooses one. And it's like there's like discover a clue, deal a damage, right? Like it was kind of like just like a toolbox. It could be like evade an enemy at your location.
Yeah. The versatility is definitely nice, especially if we're only giving him one copy of this.
Yeah. The other thing we could do is an asset that has like uses that he can use to increase skill value.
I get that, but at the same time, like any opportunity we can have for a
Signature. Yeah, it is. You do want to take it, right?
Yeah, it could have like a task force type effect.
Yeah. Yeah, like chooses like two different, what would it be, like two different options? Like how does it do if you choose two if you have three? Is there a wording for that that exists?
Let me see how task force does it. No, they don't. They just do the ... I would just say two different options.
Then it's a colon, right?
Yeah.
It could be like move to a connecting location. Move again.
Yeah, there should probably be spaces after each of those bullets.
Yeah. Is there a way to do a small VS? Is it like LVS or?
I think it's SVS.
Yeah, just give them like a bit of space to breathe.
Yeah, hopefully that won't throw things off too much. You can put that location like just on a separate line and tab it over. I think you don't need yeah, you can replace like one. No, you can keep them tabbed over. You can just.
I'm just seeing if it makes if we can get rid of the line break here.
It does work, I think.
Yeah. So this also the performed investigator chooses two different options. Move to location, discover one clue that locate. Yeah, it is just task force.
Honestly, I'm fine with it just being a task force.
Yeah. It doesn't really like cause excitement, but I think that probably is okay because it's just functional, you know?
Yeah, because I mean, his ability is already the exciting thing.
Yeah.
So his signature is just enabling it, and we can give it like one wild or something.
You the card of the investigator's test to add his stat. If succeeds, then he gets +2 in the next test. So that's a similar vibe to what I actually had when I was going for walks and brainstorming this guy. I think it's not bad. I think this is. Let's leave it this one, see how it is. But it's something that's an interesting story that we could potentially tell if we do revisit this. What's our trait? it's got to be practiced, right? It's literally just teaching.
Let's see. Let me just take a look at all of the.
It could be expert.
Yeah, expert was what I was leaning towards, but I gotta just look at the skill list and see.
Yeah.
Because I think expert they tend to only put on the upgraded ones, but there's
Yeah.
no reason we can't put it on a signature. Yeah. Practice. No, wait. Yeah, Carson's is practiced expert. We can do that.
Cool. Is it in that order?
Yeah, practiced expert. I think expert is like always tacked on, so.
Yeah. All right. I think I like your idea of a wild, but I kind of want to make it brain wild. I think he needs to be like a calming force during the mythos phase, you know?
Yeah, I could see that.
Where he's like, everybody just chill, brothers. We're gonna get through this.
Calm down was a missed input.
And I feel like the title should be some sort of like some sort of piece of advice he gives when he's teaching. It's just a dead body. No reason to worry. Amen.
Maybe it's like another like quote ones like watch this, except now you're getting it.
Oh yeah. I'm down. I like it. Okay.
Let me see if I can find some relevant art for that.
Okay, and then his weakness. Should be allowed to commit it to himself. I think he should. Mostly, I think mostly just because it doesn't. We don't have to add extra lines of text to it because it's already pretty tight.
Yeah.
Okay, what I'm gonna do, just because I feel like I'm gonna go their skill value. I just feel like it makes more sense. I feel like I keep getting like that increased skill value, and I feel like I'm missing a word. That increase their skill value during that test. That investigator takes immediate action of the same type. I don't have a good solution, but I feel like signature should interact with its ability more. It feels super bland. That was my gut instinct for like the habit, so like it gave extra skill value for the second one. But I just don't know, like, how do you...
We can go back on it immediately. We can, like, we're not already locked in.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's definitely... I'm just trying to think of, like, how do we interact with this idea of, like, just them taking another action, right? Skill test. So I think also, like, I think the weakness might give some insight as well.
Yeah, we can do the weakness now and see what that
inspires.
Yeah.
So in theory, this is who's pinged me on Discord. It's not Beard, and he's the only one I want to be pinged by right now. What benefit do you want to see on that second action is the question. The first commit triggers the ability. The text box impacts the next test.
Something that may work is just like a +1, but it just keeps committing as long as you can keep chaining successes together.
Interesting.
And like it doesn't even have to be that round, just like to the next test performed. And it's only a +1, but it's +1 momentum to every single test until it fails. That might be way too much value for one card, but
I think that's interesting. That's interesting. Commit to the next test. Okay. What if we add a cap though, but it's like a benefit cap, you know?
it's something like you can either commit it to the next test or draw one card for each test that this was committed to this round. I don't know.
That's something like that. Something like that, where it's like if this card, if was committed to 3 tests this round, discard it and like has like a little benefit here, right?
Yeah.
This is interesting. This is neat.
And it does go with the flavor of it too, like repeated successes. Like, yeah, now you're understanding it.
Yeah. And you can actually potentially game it to have it be, like, with you. Like, you could do 2 tests to have it carry over to the next round.
Yeah.
And then, like, you just try to ride it out through the Mythos phase. Oh! Okay, I'm in. Performed by that investigator. If now you're getting it was committed to 3 different tests this round. So, correct me if I'm wrong on this wording. For the if now you're getting it was committed to 3 different tests this round, that would trigger on the 3rd success, right? Or would it be then? Should we have a then on there? I don't think so.
If it's a then you'd this would only trigger on the 4th test.
Yeah, okay, so then we want this one. Yeah. Just this will commit to the next test performed by that investigator. If now you're getting it was committed to 3 different tests this round. So would it just like live in limbo? Is there wording we need to do to make that work?
I think a lot of similar things like put it into your play area until it's committed again.
Put play area.
I think Surprising Find puts it into your play area too.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's what you said. Yeah, like the benefit is just like some burst card draw at the end.
Yeah.
I'm also kind of okay to just drop that little bumper though and just have it be endless commit until a test has failed.
I do like that too.
Let's test it with that.
Also makes it cleaner to read.
Play area and commit to the next test performed by that investigator. All right, that's neat. Okay, yes. All right, weakness for this guy. My gut says enemy.
Here, this art might work.
Maybe it could be any investigator instead of that investigator. So put now you're getting into play in your play area and commit to the next test performed by any investigator. I think that by an investigator. Less memory issues. That is a good point, Metroid Man. I think that probably is better by an investigator. I think that's a little bit cleaner too for the memory stuff. Yes,
there,
okay.
This is the wrong person. There we go.
Cool, I love it. Nice. All right. What's your vibe on the weakness?
I'm not opposed to an enemy, but we do have him set up to have like lingering trauma from whatever moved him from being a field agent to an instructor.
Yeah.
Could also give him a skill weakness.
Could also give him a skill weakness.
Where he like bungles the lesson. Just like, you know, like, all right, do as I say, not as I do, that kind of thing.
It's an interesting idea from Dice Gods. Place a resource on this card every time an investigator takes 4 more actions on their turn that needs to do it so many times. He needs to see the lessons completed. Right, let's workshop a skill. Let's workshop a skill to start.
And there's not many skill weaknesses in the world.
Bad memory. Man, it sucks that we have to write this skill icon subtract. You can't just like, that's not just inferred from it. That's...
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff from early Arkham that they should have just compartmentalized.
Yeah. And we have like 2 lines before it starts getting smushed. If we wanted to go with this, like, bad lessons. I don't even know what that word means.
Well, a pedagogue is just a teacher, so.
Bad method and practice of teaching. I learned something new today. Always a good day.
Love is just like minus.
I mean, it needs to... So the issue with skill stuff is that it really just, like, eats, on average, 1 skill test.
Yeah, that's the problem there. So maybe it is like a reverse of this. Just when you draw it, put it into play, and for the whole round, every test is getting a -1, or every test at your location.
It's very similar to arrogance, Winifred's weakness.
I mean, rather than like if it's at the end of your turn thing, just like
Yeah, if
just
there's
make it
skill.
something like a -4, and if you fail,
Yeah.
then an effect, and you must commit it to the first eligible skill test performed this round.
You must commit. What if it was? You must commit to a skill test if able.
Yeah.
That's an interesting theory for Metro Man. It forces you to do the same. Commits itself to both, so it's like kind of like doing the double thing, right?
It's just like a -2 until someone fails. Kind of like an opposite of his signature.
Yeah. I guess it'd be to each eligible skill test. There we go. Then we have. I mean, we could go like this. If this skill test fails, the performing investigator, like, loses 1 action, right?
Yeah. And if the skill succeeds, then a lesser bad effect.
I mean, we can go kind of mean with it.
We should go mean with it because skill weaknesses are generally softer.
It's a double action basic weakness. Well, it's double. Sorry, not basic weakness. Double action weakness now.
But then, yeah, just succeed and it's a double action. Because you're, well,
I feel like this is going to most often be sucked up at the mythos phase.
true.
If he succeeds, the effect should be worse. I mean, maybe. fails, loses 1 action. I mean, that's an interesting thing.
What about if they fail? The performing investigator loses 1 action, but if they succeed, you still know it was like bad advice or something, so you have to discard a bunch of cards.
Uh-huh. What if we did horror?
Yeah, horror's
For the
also
same
good.
same sort of thing, right? Like he has some stuff from that.
Yeah, and there'd be reasons why he'd want the performing investigator to fail too in that case.
Yeah. Take 2 horror.
Yeah. I think we can call it bad advice rather than bad memory.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. I mean, yeah, bad. I mean, I like the pedagogy too.
Yeah, but I think most people are going to say, what the heck is pedagogy? Is this something dirty?
It's a good way to learn, though, right? It's
Fair.
a good way to learn. Okay. What about like teachings?
This would be a funny image to use. Yeah, just bust in. It'll be fine.
Yeah. I'm trying to find a more like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like,
Oh, what about bad training?
bad training. Well, what about like old habits?
Old habits, yeah.
Like he got out of the business for a reason.
You don't need those for weaknesses. You only need those for signatures.
We still have to say that it subtracts though.
Oh, that's right. Because they hate us. Okay, so they have a line break for it, but we're gonna change the formatting.
Yeah, we can do like if this skill test fails, performing investigator loses 1 action. Otherwise, you take 2 horror, something like that.
Yeah, I was even gonna say like you must, because they have it on separate line breaks, but I have you must commit it and this skill icon subtract from your skill value instead of adding to it.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, this would definitely be blunder coded.
Yes. Oh, 100%. That's a massive blunder if I've ever seen one. Yeah, I think like the otherwise would fit as well, but I kind of like chunking the first bit together.
Yeah.
It would be you. It follows the same sort of thing as perception, right? So you committed to another investigator's thing. You draw the card unless it specifies performing investigator.
Sure.
Must I commit this to any eligible skill test? You must commit it to each eligible skill test. So all of them. All right. Old habits. How does Leaf play that?
If it just gets discarded when the test.
Yeah, like a skill card
succeeds or
does.
fails.
Yep. Yeah, there's nothing that returns from play. It's just a normal skill card otherwise. old habits for his back part over here. Habits. So it would be, we can do from to the next.
The next eligible skill test works.
Yep, we can do that just to beat the confusion there. Must commit all habits to the next eligible skill test, and the skills icons subtract from your skill value, from, not your skill value, from the performing investigators. There we go.
Scrunched.
It is scrunched.
Just try the otherwise take 2 horror.
Yeah.
Not at any location. Like there can be some like that's the tech against it. Is like he wants to be at people's locations committing to them, but if you want to avoid his skill whenever he draws it, then you don't want to be at his location.
Yeah.
Especially if he draws it mid-turn, that's really funny.
Yep.
Or he draws it at the end of his turn, then the next person to go is like, hey,
Yeah.
this is going to be great. Hey, he gets again.
Yeah, sorry. I think that even though this is not really done with Arkham wording, I think we should put otherwise you take 2 horror, just because the first part is performing investigator.
Yeah, just for clarity.
Yeah, I think so. The classic RB blunder right here. He's really good until he isn't. All right. I think this guy's pretty sweet. 3, 4, 4, 1. Soaks for 7 and 6, so he has a little bit less. As a reaction, after an investigator succeeds at a test, if you committed cards or triggered abilities that increase their skill value during that test, that investigator takes an immediate action of the same type. Fight, investigate, evade, etc. Limit once per round. Elder Sign effect is +0. The next test performed by an investigator this round gets +2 skill value. That also actually counteracts his old habits, which is kind of neat. If it somehow aligns perfectly. His deck building is at deck creation you choose Rogue or Mystic. And he has Guardian cards 0 to 5, Neutral 0 to 5, level 0 of your chosen secondary class. His deck building requirements are 1 copy Now You're Getting It, 1 Old Habits, and 1 Random Basic Weakness. Now You're Getting It is a practiced expert skill, commits for a wild. Roscoe RB Booth deck only. If this test is successful, put Now You're Getting It into your play area and commit it to the next test performed by an investigator. And then we have Old Habits. You must commit Old Habits to the next eligible skill test, and this skill's icon subtract from the performing investigator's skill value instead of adding to it. And if this skill test fails, the performing investigator loses 1 action. Otherwise, you take 2 horror. I also like this where, like, say, for example, he did draw this, like, he went first and drew this as, like, his last action, and he doesn't want to take the 2 horror, so he's like, you're going to just need to do something really bad here so you fail this test. Just please, can you, like, do a basic investigate, Hank? And Hank's like, me? Yeah, I'll teach you how to do this. Sorry, Hank, you just lost an action there.
2 actions, really.
Yep.
Yeah,
all right, I think
really funny one.
Yeah, I think this is really neat, and I think again we've done a good job of linking to our bonded cards and the set mechanic without actually forcing you to use it, right?
Yeah, you can build him as a pure skill monkey if you want to.
Yep.
Or you could lean into it.
Yeah, I mean, you even just take this guy and turn him into like a Guardian Tony Morgan, right? Like he's just uses physical training on himself and just gets a free fight action each round as well.
Yeah, it definitely could.
Yep.
And
Sweet.
we've also made him support oriented without making him like, oh, this is just Carson.
Yes. Yep. Which I think is good because I also am glad he's a fighter because we kind of have been on a trend of, and our first Guardian in our set, we was following that trend as a Guardian who doesn't fight. So I think this guy is going to be a very interesting investigator to try out and play with.
Yeah, and he's interesting.
Yeah. And he feels like an instructor too. So I think that's a win. That's a really good one here. All right. Well, if you're watching us on YouTube, the next one of these should be out in a few weeks, if not a month. But if you're watching on Twitch, I don't know when the next one's going to be, but it's going to be sometime in the near future. Otherwise, thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good one. And as always, GG's.